So here's the game. I'm not calling this a guitar lesson because I don't know. I'm improving. You're improving. Let's improve together. Let's make some games and have fun improving. If you're better than me, you can still play this and have fun. If you're worse than me, hopefully you can still play it and have fun. So it's more like, hey, come along with me and play some guitar games. Or you can do it on any instrument, really. But, so the game is, pick a key or a scale, and then you pick a tempo, and you pick a rhythm, a constant rhythm. For this lesson, it's all eighth notes, but you could do triplets, you could do 16th notes, you could do quintuplets. And if you don't know what any of that means, go look it up. I get really tired of guitar lessons where, they set out to teach something, but then go back and explain what a scale is. They explain what every little freaking thing is. Like, if you don't know what an eighth note is, it might not be the lesson for you, but just Google it. Everyone's so lazy. Everyone wants everything just handed to them. No one's gonna hand you guitar skill. You have to go and get it. So yeah, I'm not gonna hold your hand, but here's the game. You pick a key, you pick a rhythm, you pick a tempo, you set your click to that tempo, and then you just try to play continuous notes within that rhythm. If it's dotted eighth notes, if it's eighth notes, whatever, you have to stick with it. And if you make a few mistakes, then you stop, and that's it. And you try to challenge yourself. You want to be on the edge. You want to ride the lightning. If you only know the pentatonic box, then stick with that. If you know the melodic minor scale and you want to work on that, then do that. It's up to you to create the parameters within the game. It's very open. It leaves room for wherever you're at and whatever you want to work on. If you want to work on alternate picking, then force yourself to only do alternate picking. If you want to work on sweep picking, force yourself to do that. Hybrid picking, same deal. You get the point. Yeah, it's really simple. I'm going to demonstrate the game a few times. I'll demonstrate it for where beginners would be at or mediocre players are at. But yeah, most of the video is going to be me playing the game and explaining my thought process when I mess up. But yeah. Okay, so you pick a key that you want to work on. I picked D flat major because I know that yesterday I was soloing in D flat and I messed up a few times. So I already knew it's one of my weaker keys. So, I'm picking that key. I can see it across the fretboard pretty well. And let's say you learn like typical positional things. Like if you only know the A minor pentatonic scale. And you don't even know it like you don't know it across the fretboard. If you only know it here, then you can still do this. Just stick with something and then challenge yourself in another area. So tempo might be the challenge for you. Like if let's say I only know that scale, I'll just pick a tempo where I'm pushing myself but not pushing myself to the point of frustration, where it's still almost doable, but I'm pushing the limits of where my skills are. So my alternate picking's not incredible, so let's showcase my weakness. So I made some mistakes, but I might try pushing it farther. Whereas you might not be that good. Maybe you're a beginner. And let's say the click is at like 70. For me, that's not too hard of a tempo. I mean, when I do something at that speed, I start focusing on other things because speed is not going to kill me. I know where all the notes are. I'm not worried about that. If you are worried about where all the notes are, you should try randomizing the scale as much as possible, because a lot of people just do this. Like, they're always moving in adjacent string pairs. Like, if I'm on the E string, next string I'll go to is the A string. If I'm on the A string, I can go to the E string or D string, but I'm not going to jump around. See, so I started messing up, so maybe that's a good exercise for me, because clearly I'm weak at that too. But try to work on the scale in as challenging a way as you can. You're always going to have weak points, and you need to find them. These games will help you find them, and then once you notice a pattern of where you're weak, try and pinpoint it with something else. So, I mean, I'm going to go and do that exercise right now, because that was too weak for me. You can do... You can make up specific picking exercises from that. I'm just going to stick with the randomness, keep the click slow, but focus on bigger jumps. yeah, so I was noodling at the end. You know, I got kind of sick of playing in the box and started moving around, and then eventually adding other notes from the scale. Probably more often than I should have. I'll probably go back and do it more strictly pentatonic and punish myself more if I make a mistake. And I don't mean like hitting myself. Although, if anyone has a robot that punishes you if you make a mistake when you're practicing and he like shocks you, give me a call, man, because I want it. Anyways, I hope you get the point that wherever you're at in your playing, you can apply this. Click at 120. Got something in my eye. I've got the click at 120. I'm gonna just do eighth notes in D flat major, which is a tough key for me. It's one of my weaker ones, and just trying to do continuous eighth notes. This isn't too crazy of a tempo for me, so I'm gonna try to focus on good technique and maybe pulling out some things that are a little harder to do at faster tempos. Here we go. That one sucked. So I started messing up. I mean, I made a lot of mistakes throughout the whole thing, but usually if I played a wrong note, I would try to justify it somehow. I'm sure a lot of them still stood out as wrong notes, but yeah, and then at the end I messed up rhythmically, so I just kept that idea going. I think it was kind of like a dotted eighth note thing, and then I tried to play some chord at the end to resolve it, but I messed up. I was going for this one, but yeah. I think it's helpful and more fun to stop when you mess up. It's kind of like in a video game, like if you get shot or whatever, you gotta go back and restart. You know, if you just live forever, it's not that fun. So, trying to gamify some scales. So I'm just gonna stop right there because I didn't have any rhythmic errors except when I think I played a dead note one time or two times, but I wasn't counting that because I still played a note. It was just a dead note, but I stopped because basically I had enough technical errors to warrant stopping and addressing those technique errors. And basically what they were is open strings ringing out when I went to play something else. You know, had one of those ringing at one point. I think I let the B string go at one point. So I'm going to change gears and slow down a lot and only focus on everything being super clean. There's one. I think I hit it, like, going up. Probably not, actually. let one of the I let the E string ring out. I'd have to check the video to see exactly why. Maybe I will do that. So I couldn't figure out what I did to mess up in that last take. You know, do your best to figure out and diagnose problems, because if you don't know what the problem is, you can't solve it. But I couldn't figure out that one. I did watch the video. I would have to watch it with headphones, and I just don't feel like changing my setup right now. But you know, really, that E string, it can't ring out if my index finger always has like the proper placement, meaning that it's always touching the strings lower than where it's at. It's always meeting stuff for you, especially south of the fingertip. I know I was doing slides when I triggered that mistake, so let's say we'll change the game. We'll say you can only play on the high 3 strings, and just try and focus. I'll just try and focus on slides and legato. I messed up the rhythm, but it brings me to one point. For me personally, if I hit a wrong note in this sort of game, I'll typically try to justify it, you know, undo, sort of change the past. I think that's what Michael says in Victor Wooten's book. You should check that out if you haven't. But I at some point hit this note, which is the minor third of D. So I tried to justify it by, I think I went up to the major third and then went back down to it somehow, doing like a little chromatic encirclement. I think that's a phrase. And then I just went up chromatically. You know, just trying to somehow pretend like I meant to do it. You'd be surprised how many people you can trick. Yeah, that's the word.